Hi guys, decided to make some faux pumpkins today because they're really cool ones. I bought one last year. I paid between like $6 and $8 for it, and I'm like, no way. It was kind of one of those squishy, squatty, bluish gray ones, which is really cool. I love it. But I decided I'm gonna do some paper mache. And so I've taken some balloons and wrapped them in string, and we're gonna go from there. Show you what I did here. I crisscrossed the string at the bottom. Well, I did one strand at a time because it's just too hard to like twist it and keep going. And I kind of taped it in areas to hold it once I got it placed, because it tends to want to slip. So, and I'm planning on, once I get the paper mache on, maybe put a weight on it so they squish down a little bit. I like the squishy pumpkin, so we'll see how it goes. And we're going to cut the newspaper into about 1-inch strips. And I'm thinking you don't want this shiny kind of stuff. It probably won't stick very well. You want the regular newspaper kind. So just cut a pile into strips. Here's what I came up with to kind of try to smush it a little bit. I put some plastic wrap there and then a brick, and that tends to be like wool, so I put a little black here. It fell off once. I probably need a couple more little wooden blocks to support the base of it, but I'm just trying to get it to be a little more squishy, flat style pumpkin. Oh yeah, I found some more little blocks to put on each side of it to stabilize it. Otherwise, I'm going to be losing my brick. I don't know how long this is going to take to dry. And then I'll still need to put another coat or two on. I want to make them, you know, pretty nice and sturdy. Probably 2 more coats. This is like a week-long project, I think, by the time that dries in between, but we'll see. Okay, so the balloon pumpkin trial. It's a total disaster. Ah! The balloons popped for some reason, so I tried to just put this one upside down in hopes that it would save it. I don't think so. Plan B. Marina suggested I fill some grocery shopping bags, like the plastic ones, with newspaper, and then tie them for the sections of the pumpkins or tape them. And she showed me a picture that someone else obviously had a better idea than I did. So round 2, I'm gonna try that method. See what we come up with. Okay, so this doesn't look like a whole lot yet, but you can see kind of sections poofing out here. And then I get to paper mache over this, and hopefully I end up with kind of a squatty looking pumpkin that won't pop. Pitiful. Okay, here comes the messy part. So I decided to hang this pumpkin, sorry about the lighting, while I work on it so that I can stick stuff to the bottom and it's not constantly being sucked off by the paper it's sitting on. So here we go. Trying to get the hang of it. Kind of have to hold it up here while I put the paper on so it's not just moving away from me. But it definitely works better than having it sitting on something. Okay, so I have it covered with the first layer. I'm really liking how it turned out. I know it looks crazy, but it looks flat and squatty and bumpy, like the bluish gray, weird kind of pumpkins I'm going for. So I'm just going to go hang this outside. I'm so glad it has the shopping bag handle. Just leave those on, and I'm gonna figure out a stem later. But this is really handy. Really handy way to deal with these guys for now. So I'm just gonna go hang it outside on some little hooks from the patio ceiling and let it dry. I'm right up here. There. Just gonna let them dry and then go for another coat. So here is what we turned out with so far. I think they're looking great. That's one layer of paper mache, and I'm about to put another layer on and then hang them outside again to dry. Super cool. Little update on the pumpkins. These guys have 2 layers on them, and they're really nice and solid. I'm amazed. I just did this one earlier today, the second coat. Now I just ripped up a paper bag. I'm gonna put this on as a top coat to kind of cover up all the print, and I'll probably do some painting on top of that to try to get some definition, like where these creases are and stuff. But so far, they're looking pretty funky. Well, here's what we came up with, or what I came up with. I've just not been videoing a lot of it because I just was dinking around, experimenting, painting, spray painting, and painting more, and spray painting more. Just using what I have. And I don't know, it's kind of cute. I'll stick with it. First I used just some craft paint to make some darker areas of a bluish green. I didn't really have any white craft paint. I was trying to make it mostly white. I ended up spraying white over it, a white spray paint, because it just was darker than I wanted. And then I put some brownish watercolor areas in, and then that just kind of looked too blotchy, so I sprayed over white a little bit again. This is a toilet paper tube. I just split at the bottom all the way around, stuck over the plastic bag that was sticking out, And then I hot glued it on, and I twisted it and just mashed it and mushed it until I thought it looked decently not real. And then just put on a few strands of twine for the pumpkin curlicues. I just printed this thankful off on my computer printer and stuck it in I had to trim it a little bit, stuck it in a Dollar Tree frame. So that was only $1. When I was trying to make it on the computer, I was like, oh, I wish it would let me go down farther. And I trimmed paper off the bottom too, because these frames are a little bit small. But then I realized, well, maybe that's fine that it won't let me go down without going to the next page, because then it will be visible behind these pumpkins. So it all turned out, you know, for the best. It turned out great. So kind of putsy, but my pumpkin's pretty lumpy. But I don't know, it's kind of cool and kind of fun. Here are the other two. This is the one I showed that I did the final coat with the paper bag. And then I switched to just regular like printer paper, ripped up bits, because this was just kind of really super thick, the bag that I had. Like if you had little lunch sacks, that would probably work really well. Or just some thinner brown paper. Yeah, I just chose to go to the white paper because I kind of wanted them to end up pretty much white anyways. So I don't know, we'll see. They just take a lot of putzing around. So here's the toilet paper tube, and I just stuck it over these and tucked that down in. Maybe I can do it on this one with one hand. Just tuck that down in. I cut around the bottom like slits and little shapes, and hot glued it down, then just mushed it, twisted it, just folded the top, mushed that down, folded the top in. You just have to work with it depending on the size of your pumpkin, and just try to get it to look like something other than a toilet paper tube. So I can totally understand now why paper mache pumpkins, like at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever you go, Joann's, could get pretty pricey. This is really putsy, and I did it over a course of, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days because I was busy and people were here, and that's fine. But it takes a lot of time to dry. I had them outside on some nice days, hanging, as you saw, and that seemed to work really well. It was kind of dry air outside, and it was breezy. It's just really kind of putsy, but I'm glad I did it, because now I know what's involved if I'm thinking I want to do any other paper mache projects. And I've done them before. I used to make piñatas for the kids' birthdays all the time. And sometimes we would start with plastic bottles, like just recycled stuff, and let them mess around with that. And that was always fun. Actually, we didn't use bottles for the birthday piñatas. We used bottles like if they wanted to make some animal or something. But yeah, for the piñata, you wouldn't be able to hit it open, would you? So we used balloons for those piñatas for actual filling with the candy, birthday party stuff. So we've done quite a bit of it. I've just never done anything, you know, decorative like this before. And you know, so you're trying to paint it to make it look not totally fake. I mean, I know it looks fake. You know it's not a real pumpkin, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cute. Anyways, with all the messing around and all the goopy fingers, remember to have fun.